the start of the second half of 3.5, and we are using or doing equations with compound interest. So compound interest. We have two types of compound interest we're going to do. Compounded continuously and then compounded a certain number of times per year. If it's compounded continuously, we'll use this first one, which we call PERT, P-E-R-T. If we do compound a certain number of times per year, we'll use this one. So by K is going to be some number. So it might say compounded 5 times per year or 3 times per year. Well, that tells me what K is. We have a bunch of letters here, but we're going to know almost all of them in our problem. So let's talk about what each one means. It says, first one we see is P. P is the principal. That is the initial amount invested. So that's how much money the person puts into a savings account. And we see P here. And if I just go ahead and erase all that. Here. So P is in the same spot in both equations. So that's how much money we start with. R is our annual interest rate. And remember that if I have 3%, I need to change R to a decimal. So 3% would be 0.03. And there's our R, which by the way, that should be a fraction. And R. Okay. T is the number of years. So we're putting in some amount of money in interest, collecting interest for a certain number of years. Okay. So there's T. There's T. It's always in the exponent. And then after a certain number of years, we get money back, more money than we put in, and that's our A. So that's how much money we get at the end of a certain number of years. Okay. Now at the bottom it says, note, if interest is compounded monthly, okay, so if we're doing compounded monthly, what is K? Well, there are 12 months in a year, so if it's compounded monthly, K would be 12, okay? If it says it's compounded annually, that means 1 time per year, K would be 1. If it's biannually, 2 times per year. Sometimes you see quarterly. Quarterly means 4 times per year, but usually for the rest of those, they just tell you how many times per year. All right, let's look at the problem. So as we go through these, they're in pairs, so I'm going to do the odd numbered problems. After I finish the odd number problem, I'm going to switch it over to the even number. That would be a perfect time to hit the pause button on this video, try the problem yourself, and then hit play, and then I'll show you the answer, and then I'll try the next odd numbered problem. Okay, so let's try this one. I'm going to start off by thinking about what all do I know? What am I given? It says Cody invests $4,319. Well, this is how much he's investing. This is what he's putting in. That's our P. Okay. Keep going. It says a fixed interest rate of 7%. Well, that's my R, and I know I'm going to change that to 0.07. All right. It says compounded continuously. What will be the account balance after 6 years? Well, 6 years, there's my T value. Okay, so I'm given P, R, and T. The only thing I don't know, what are they asking me about, is the account balance, and that is my A. So they're asking me, what is A? So I'll set up my equation. Now we have two different equations. It says compounded continuously. That compounded continuously tells me that I'm using PERT. A equals P e to the RT. Alright, because continuously we're going to use this equation. And then I'm going to plug in what all I know. I don't know what A is. I know that P is 4,319. E is just E, 2.7, and the exponent is going to be 0.07 times 6. Okay, and I don't need to solve this for a variable because the variable I'm solving for is already by itself. So I can plug this in my calculator just the way it looks. So on my calculator, I'm going to type in 4319, and then E with the little box above it for my exponent, if I can find it. Yep, there it is. And then parentheses 0.07, close parentheses, parentheses 6. And we're going to round to a nearest cent. I'll say 6573.35. So that means if he invests this much money, then after 6 years, he gets this amount out. Okay. Go ahead and try number 18. Make sure you hit pause, and then I'll put the answer on the screen. Alright, so the answer to number 18 is $23,399.74. So this is less than 16 years and a higher interest rate, so this one worth a lot more money. Okay, now look at this one. Right away, hopefully, we'll notice a difference. This one doesn't say compounded continuously. It says compound 6 times per year. So let's go back and look at our formula. We're going to be using this one. So we got 1 plus R over K KT. And again, that's because it says compounded 6 times per year. Our formula. I should write a little bit higher. All right. So let's find these things. It says me invest 7,578. That is our P. That's the one she's investing, putting in. With the effect interest rate, there's our R, and we're going to say it's 0.08. What will the account balance be after? There's our T. So that means, what are we trying to find? We're trying to find A. So we don't know A, leave it A. We know P is 7578. I know that our R is 0.08. Our K is 6, because 6 times per year. And then our K is 6. Our T is 19. All right. Notice we have a large number of years and a pretty large interest rate, so we should expect a larger amount of money on this one than from problem number 1. All right, and so again, our variable is already solved for. We got A by itself, so I can just plug this in my calculator again. So 7578, 1 plus, hit the fraction button. And I end up with 34,302.05. Okay, so notice almost multiplied by 5 an increase of money. So a much larger amount because of the number of years and the larger interest rate. So go ahead and push pause and try number 20. Okay, so answer number 20 is 3,058 and 66 cents. So it's not much bigger than how much you put in, because there was a smaller interest rate and not that many years. All right, next problem, number 21. Let me hit our button here. There we go. All right, so the person is investing this much money, so there's our P. I'm given an R, which is 0.09, high interest rate. How long will it take for the account balance to reach this amount? There's my A. So this time they give me the A. Well, if they give me the A, what are they asking me for? It says how long, so that means I'm trying to figure out T. I don't know T. Well, which equation should I use? Well, it says compounded continuously, so we're going to use PERT. So A equals P E R T. All right, so let's plug in what I know. This time I do know A. So 8.36. I know P is 1402. E. I know my rate is 0.09, but I don't know what T is. So that's the variable I'm trying to solve for. That I know what T is, but also looking at P, looking at A, I start off with a fairly small sum compared to everything else we've been doing. And it doesn't go up by a ton, even though there's a pretty large interest rate, so I'm going to expect T to not be a super big value. Probably wasn't less in there for a super long time. Alright, but how do I solve for T? It's in the exponent. Well, if it's in the exponent, that means this is an exponential equation. We've solved exponential equations by ultimately changing them to log form after I get the base with the exponent by itself, just like we did on the earlier problems. Alright, so I need to get this away, that 1402. And when you're doing these problems, whenever you know both A and P, your first step is always going to be divide A by P. So if I know both A and P, I'm going to start off by dividing both sides by P. So A divided by P. Okay. So let's see, what does that give me? 3448.36 divided by 1402, and I'm going to write out 596. Alright, obviously more decimal places than that, but the next two decimal places are 0, so I'm probably pretty safe with just that. And that gives me E 0.09 T. Okay. I'm going to now change it to log form. So that means log, the base is E of 2.4596. And remember, logs always equal the exponent. Now, hopefully you're looking at this and you see, oh, log E is the same thing as ln of 2.4596. And if I look at the right side, I'm trying to get T by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides by 0.09. I could have found the log of that first if I wanted to. So I'm going to hit the natural log button on my calculator. I'm going to go up so that I can use all of that 2.4 number, not just the digits I wrote down. So I'm going to go up and use the value on my calculator. and then I'm going to divide all of that after I've closed my parentheses by 0.09, and I get t equals 9 point and then a lot of nines. Okay, well, we're going to round to the nearest whole year, so for me that means t equals 10 years. Okay. All right. There's number 22. Go ahead and hit pause, try it, and I'll give you the answer. All right, so the answer for number 22 is 11 years. 11 years to reach that amount of money. Okay, let's look at number 23 together. It says Eugene invests this amount of money, so there's a P. I see an 8% interest rate, so there's R, which means 0.08. We're given our kind of equation 2 times per year, so that means I'm going to use our K equation, and that is K. And then account balance, there's our A, and then again we're looking for T. So let's write out what we have. We know our A is 12. Sorry, I should write out my formula first. We have A equals P 1 plus R over K times K times T. All right. So now my A is 12,850.94. P is 5,865. 1 plus my rate is 0.08. Our K is 2, and we don't know what T is. Well, again, if I know both A and P, I'm going to divide both sides by P. So 5,865. Plug that in the calculator. 12,850.94 divided by 5,865. Alright, and so I have it in this form now. I need to change it to log form, and there's nothing I can really move, so I'm going to change it to log form right now and say I have log, and then my base is all of that. Well, actually, I'll tell you back. I'm going to simplify it just slightly before I change it to log form. Let's write it out like this. Ooh, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. Let's write that number out again. 2.1911. There we go. So 2.1911 equals, I can combine that. So I'm going to use my calculator and say 1 plus my little fraction, 0.08 over 2. That gives me 1.04 to the 2t. That would be simpler to put into a log. So let's do log with a base of 1.04 of 2.1911, and you should equal to t, and then whatever value I get for that log, we're going to divide by 2, and that should give me t. So let's try that. 1.04, 2.1911 1911. Actually, I'm just going to use that value from earlier. Okay. And then divide it by 2, and that gives me t equals, I got 10 with a whole bunch of zeros behind it, so t equals 10. If I forgot to divide it by 2, I'd end up with t equals 20. So make sure you remember to divide it by 2. So t equals 10, and that's years. Alright, go ahead and try number 24. Pause the video, and then I'll give you the answer. Alright, answer 24 is 11 years. Let's look at number 25 together. Alright, so it says Leah invests this amount of money. This is our P. We get this. This is our A. This is our T. What is the interest rate? So they're asking me to find R, and it's compounded continuously. So we're going to use PERT. Nope, I'm messing that up, sorry. A equals P-E-R-T. There we go. Let's plug in what I know. Our A is 17012.85. Our P is 8619. Our R is, we don't know, times our T is 17. Well, again, if I know A and P, divide both sides by P. All right, let's plug that in the calculator and see what we get. All right, I got 1.973. I'll round to 9, but I'm going to use that whole decimal when I'm actually doing my next calculation. E to the 17R. Okay. Well, I'm going to change it to log form, and because it's compounding continuously, I'm going to end up with the base of E, so I'm just going to go ahead and write ln. So I know I'm going to get log base E, which is ln, or natural log. So the natural log of 1.9739 equals 17R, and then whatever that natural log is, I need to divide it by 17 in order to find out what R is. Alright, so I have the natural log of that value, 1.9, divided by 17, and I end up with 1.03, and then a lot of 9s. Okay, well, I want to change this to a decimal, to a percentage. So normally I just move the decimal 2 places. Well, if I do that, I end up with 3%. But with all those 9s behind it, I'm going to round this to 0.04. Okay, so that my R is going to be 4%. Alright, we'll move on to number 26. Go ahead and try number 26, hit pause, and then when you're ready for the answer, hit play. Alright, answer 26, 6% interest rate. Alright, let's look at number 27 together. Alright, let's see what they're given. There's my, sorry, no, that's my P, that's what she's putting in. So where's that? So he's investing, there's our P. Oh, we got k times per year, so there's my k. 7 years, there's my t, and then here's my ending balance, there's my a. We are looking for r. Our formula. Okay. Let's write it out. A is 9627.8. P1, oops, I know what P is. P is 5915. 1 plus my R is, we don't know. My K is 6. And I got 6 times 7 up top. Okay. So this one's going to be slightly different because what I'm looking for is now no longer in the exponent, but I have P and A, and we said that whenever I have both P and A, our first step is to divide A by P, or divide both sides by P. So 9627.8 divided by 5915. Let's see here, 62769 equals 1 plus r over 6, and then 6 times 7 is 42. Alright. Well, so r is not in the exponent. This is not an exponential equation, so changing this to a log wouldn't help me. I'd end up with the variable in the base of the log. I don't want that. Well, if that exponent was a 2, I would take the square root to get rid of it. It's not a 2, it's a 42. So I'm going to take the 42nd root to get rid of it. And yes, I can do that. So 42nd root, this may actually be just a second, and then for all my calculator I have the exponent in blue above it. It has a radical sign with a little box outside of it. If you're on your TI-84, it's probably, you don't have to go under, hit the math button, and it's on that list. Alright, but yes, you can do any number root you want. For just about all of them though, you're going to want to type in the number. So I'm just going to type into my calculator 42 and then go find that root, because it takes whatever numbers before it and makes it the root. So after I typed in 42 and then went to my little box root, I got that 42. So it's going to look like this. So I hit the number 42, and then on my calculator I hit that. So I found that, and then it instantly made it look like that. Alright, so I have the 42nd root of that 1.6. Oops, I clicked the wrong button. Let me try that again. There we go. So when I take the 42nd root of this, I end up with 1.011, and we'll round to 7. We'll have 6's after that. Equals, well, the 42nd root and the 42 just cancel out, and I got 1 plus r over 6. I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. And so if I subtract 1, I just end up with 0.0117 r over 6. And I am using the full value, so I'm only writing out 0.117, but on my calculator I'm using that entire decimal. I just don't want to write it out each time. Multiply both sides by 6. And I end up with 0.06, and then a whole bunch of 9's. So I'm going to round that up to 0.07, which, if I'm doing an R, I want to change it to percent, is 7%. go ahead and try number 28. So hit pause, and when you're ready, go ahead and hit play. All right, the answer to 28 is 7%. All right, 29. No. All right, so what do they give me now? They give me that. There's our R. They give me T. They give me A. They ask me to find P. So this should be our last set. They're going to do this with compounding continuously, which is what this one is. And then we know we're going to do one more with K times per year, but this should be the last set of problems. So we have A equals P E R T. My A is 21,329.47. We don't know what P is. E to the 0.08, gotta change that R to a rate, times 13. Okay. I'll do this one in 2 steps, but you really could do this just in 1 step by dividing that over. But I'm going to go ahead and actually change that exponent to just one number. So this is e to the 0.08 times 13 is 1.04. Alright. Now I'm going to divide both sides by e to the 1.04. So 21329.47 divided by e to the 1.04. And I end up with 7,539, and then some decimal after that equals P. Our P value is going to be a whole dollar amount, so we're going to round to the whole dollar amount for P. So that's how much money would need to be invested in order to get that A value right there out under these circumstances. Okay, go ahead and hit pause, try number 30. Alright, answer number 30 is 4,694. Alright, I think this is the last one we are doing together. Let's see here, we have an interest rate. So here is my R. We're doing K times per year, so 3 is my K, 7 is my T, and then my account balance, there's my A. So our formula equals P alright. So our A is 3980.34. Our P1 plus our R is 0.5. Oh, sorry, nope, 0.05. Over K, which is 3. Our K again is 3 times 7 years. Okay. I can put all of this in my calculator and just get a number out. I got 1 plus a 0.05 over 3. I got 3 times 7. Make sure I type that in right. Alright. And I get 3980.34 equals P times 1.41, around the 5. Okay. Divide both sides by 1.15. And I get P equals $2,813. So that's the initial amount that would be invested. Alright, let's try number 32. Hit pause, and I'll show you the answer. Alright, answer is 3,976. And that was our last problem. So we tried to do both sets of problems, solving for every single variable. So now you should be able to solve any of these types of problems, because we should have seen an example of every possible type. So good luck on homework. I'll hopefully see y'all tomorrow.